live from a secret UFO bunker under DIA. You're listening to Downshift with your hosts, Jason and Ryan. This is the Colorado Cars and Coffee podcast by car enthusiasts for car enthusiasts. Clutch in, gear down, and let's start the show.
Very storming Area 51 with that.
Independence Day. Welcome to Earth. Pop. It's a classic. I love that movie. I saw that movie in theaters when it came out, and I can't get enough of it. It's a classic. True American classic.
That was one of the first movies that had a bunch of build up to it. Remember all the drama for the first week before it came out?
Oh, big time hype. Yeah.
That was cool.
Definitely. Yeah, and there was so much merch, so many product tie-ins. There were toys and video games, and it was for the time, the CGI was pretty decent. Actually, it was heavy on the CGI, but anyway, that's not really car related, is it, Ryan?
No.
I was going to say Independence Day, a true American classic, just like the Chevy Beretta is a true American classic.
It was for a very small window of time.
V6 power.
It is. In fact, I can say almost every model year of them but two is now eligible for classic plates.
Oh, there you go.
I just changed mine to the classic plates on one of my cars.
Nice. Well, that's V6 power, front wheel drive, nothing like a 90s American icon. Speaking of American icons, have you seen the new Ram? I guess we're not supposed to call them Dodge anymore, but the new Ram commercials?
No, I don't have cable.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw it online I guess I saw it on Instagram, but Hemis are back. They're Ram is totally, they're Stellantis, right? So they're totally pivoting back to gas engines away from all the EV stuff. I guess the electric Challenger Daytona has not sold very well.
It hasn't sold well at all, to the point that I hear that they're dropping gasoline engines in them to try to sell them.
Yep. Yep. So Dodge, Ram, they're bringing Hemis back and putting them in everything. And that's their new.
We're going to try this and it's not working. So we're going to go hard to the left again.
Yeah. Just Hemi all the things once again. Maybe they'll Hemi a Chrysler Pacifica and we'll be able to buy that. Maybe they'll Hemi a Dodge Hornet. Who knows? But in any event, that is what they are doing. But on the local news side of things, I did want to start with one somewhat serious news story. I don't know if all the folks out there have seen this on the interwebs, but this weekend at the Vehicle Vault Cars and Coffee in Parker, there was tragically an incident where a classic, I believe it was a 70s Ford Mustang, was doing some kind of a burnout or peeling out of the Cars and Coffee pretty quickly. They collided with the median, and there were some kids, some young kids that were there taking pictures, and unfortunately those kids got injured. Don't see a whole lot about it on the news, but it seems like they're okay. They're in the hospital, so they're gonna probably pull through, it sounds like, but needless to say, they're injured. I'm sure the driver feels terrible and very remorseful, but unfortunately it does seem like that has occurred at the Vehicle Vault Cars and Coffee, which is a great event. And it's just too bad that folks need to showboat and drive irresponsibly. And unfortunately, that's the kind of stuff that gets great events shut down, and the organizers do everything they can. I know they do a great job. They have the Parker police on hand. Whenever I'm there, I always see that, but unfortunately we can't prevent people from making bad choices all the time.
Yeah. it's as simple as respect the spot, folks.
Respect the spot.
Like, it is that easy. You can showboat somewhere else. At a car show, it's not the place.
Nope.
Like,
that's
number
one.
The car, the looks, and the sound of just idling and normal driving speak for you and your vehicle. Like, there's no reason to go. And Colorado has been so good for the longest time about not having some sort of silly or stupid incident like this. I can't recall the last one. You know, maybe somebody, there was something, I think maybe middle of last year, some guy was doing donuts or burnouts at one event and he got called out and then he wanted to fight somebody. I don't know. They're so few and far between, though, here in Colorado and hopefully in general. But it's, you know, the negative repercussion can be very negative. And in this case, it was. So hopefully the young ones are all right. I don't know the details. But guys, just
be smart, be safe. To Ryan's point, respect the spot, and use your best judgment, and leave the showboating and the burnouts for somewhere else. And that's how people get hurt or worse, and ultimately that's how really great events with great organizers, they might have to get shut down. Who knows? So I guess we'll monitor that. We'll see how things develop, and we'll keep you posted. But our hearts, and wishes certainly go out to the families and the kids that were involved. And again, I'm sure the driver feels terrible, but a good reminder that we should all practice best judgment and respect the spot. But let's see, what else is anything else going on your side, Ryan?
Put the interior in the ladies' project car over the weekend, just yesterday.
Nice.
That's my automotive news.
That's your news.
Had a friend come up from the Springs that wanted to learn more about, a Beretta buddy, and she wanted to learn more about the inner workings of the vehicle. So we went from an interior with a dash only, and is now complete. Nice. And I got to teach her about how this goes in, what this does. Oh, beware of this funny little thing,
Mm-hmm.
And she loved every minute of it. And now we have a almost complete interior.
Cool.
One or two pieces need fixed. We have, the interior in this car was gray. Now it's red. But the dash is still gray because the dash we have needs to go to a shop. It needs a little love before I take the time to put it in.
Yeah.
But progress on the car that I bought originally to more than likely junk because it doesn't have a title, so I have to go through that entire process for it. But I had a friend tell me once, if you scrap that car, I'm gonna be pissed. And I was like, really? He's like, you have any idea how rare 5-speed Berettas are?
Oh, it's a manual.
I was like, oh yeah, and he's like, think about it. Everyone I've ever found, I bought. And I thought of, and it's true. This is the guy that all 4 of his family members each have their own Beretta. And it's true. Every single one of them is a manual.
So it's a 5-speed manual.
And the lady loves her manuals. So
save the manuals.
Car for like 4 years, and this is the first time that we've done something.
Yeah, right
Step
on.
1, and then I have to go get it VIN inspected. So that was putting a seat in there was kind of important because I really didn't want to take the milk crate route.
Wasn't there a fairly rare Beretta that sold on Bring a Trailer recently? That yellow was an Indy Pace Car edition. Like a
somewhat
month ago?
Recently. I don't know if it was on BAT. We've seen some recent sales that were pretty nutty.
Yeah. It was like 26 or
26,000 for an old Chevy Beretta, a 1990 Beretta Indy that was very low miles. I want to say like 40,000. That's pretty damn low for a 90 vehicle. And it was super clean. I mean, it was impeccable. That might have been a Gateway Classic Cars sale. That one went for 26. Recently, we had another one go for, I think, like 22. And then there was a GTU that sold for like 18 or 20. Those are the highest sales we've ever seen. There's there's an Indy for sale right now. You may have seen it. It's making its rounds because it was just on Jalopnik. There's a 52-mile Beretta Indy at Volo Museum, or Volo Sales or something. And I forget, they want like 28 grand or something, and like they're never gonna get it. They've been trying to sell that car for over 2 years. It's incredibly low miles, but if you start clicking through all the photos, what many people don't see are things that I do. The bumper's warped in 2 spots because of the little metal support they put under it actually pushes up too much. So the bumper's warped, the headliner's sagging, the dash is warping. And it's like, you know, and the taillights don't have the classic like taillight crack in them that Berettas get. So it's like, how is the paint and all the plastics, how are they so good, but the dash is warping? Like, what happened here? Like, they're never going to get that. They're going to sit in that car forever. People always tell, hey, have you seen this? And I'm like, yeah, it's got all these flaws. What do you mean? And then I point them out and they go, oh. I even commented on the comment thread on the Jalopnik article. That's the one. That's one of them that sold recently. 23. Okay, yeah, I'm not even sure I knew. Oh no, that's the second one. The second highest one that sold for 23 on BAT.
Yeah.
If you look up the one in Volo Museum, it's not nearly. I mean, it looks shiny, but I can't believe that people are trying to sell that car for that much.
Yeah, well,
I even commented in the comments thread and was like, "You guys, what you guys aren't seeing is this, and this, and this." And somebody was like, "Wow, I didn't even notice any of that." Like,
it has a digital dash though.
Digi on that one, yeah. I don't think the one on Volo even has the digital.
Yeah, wow.
Digital dash, sunroof, 5-speed. Like
it looks clean.
That's your dream combo.
It looks very, very clean. Certainly, that's a.
And the thing is, I don't believe that one, and then the other one that sold recently for like 26. I don't think anybody in our community bought it.
Oh, interesting.
No one knows where it went. Mysteries abound. Could actually be a collector that bought it to throw it in there, because that, you know, if that's probably the only collectible Beretta, because it is the Indy edition.
Right.
They didn't have any other. I mean, they had special or like other models, but nothing that I would consider to be a collectible. You know, that's the only one due to its tie-ins with the 1990 Indy 500.
Right. Well, you never know what's going to happen next. You never know what's going to be collectible next. And that is a perfect tie-in segue to our guests today. We have some very, very special guests. We have Joan and Eric from the Morgan Adams Foundation and Morgan Adams Concours, which is one of really I would say the premier events here in Colorado that we have, with just a really high caliber of cars. Really, amazing event for an amazing cause. And, they have all manner of classic vehicles there. So we might even see a 9,000 mile Chevy Beretta Indy Pace Car Edition in the future. So without further ado, Ryan, I'm going to go ahead and add Joan and Eric here.
Hey,
how are you all?
That's funny. Hi. How are you guys?
Doing well. We're doing well.
We are well. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Good. Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. So I wanted to take a little bit of time because I feel like a lot of people in Colorado, we have heard of the Morgan Adams, but I want to give folks a little bit of an insider's view if they haven't really, if they've never attended the event, what they could expect, why they should attend it. And ultimately, I think we really want to talk about the impetus for this event is really about the foundation and raising funds and supporting the foundation, obviously through the ticket sales. It's not an inexpensive ticket, but it does go to a fantastic cause. And then there are the auctions that occur during the concours that also help raise funds. So give us a little bit of a 101 on what the foundation is, what we're doing here, raising money for children's pediatric cancer research. Give us a little bit of the background on the event for folks who don't know.
Sure. Happy to do it. The foundation was started in early 2000 after my oldest daughter Morgan was diagnosed with a brain tumor when she was 5 years old, and she died 11 months later. So she passed away in late 1998, and in 2000 we started the foundation. Back then there just really wasn't a lot of research happening for pediatric cancer of any kind, but for brain tumors, there was almost nothing. So we started funding new treatment developments for kids. We started actually with an art auction. My late husband was a photographer, and so we do an art event that's a biennial. But we did it the first 2 years in a row, and it was like, this is hard. I'm going back to my day job, and let's make it every other year. And he's like, sure, okay, we can do that. And then in the interim, he met a guy, and he started photographing this gentleman's Ferraris, and he was trying to get the guy to give him money for the art event. And he was told no, but if you have a car show, I'll come. So that's how the Concours started.
Hey, there you go.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah. Don't care about art. Come play with my cars, and we can do that. So it was fun. So we have been around for 25 years, and we've put probably almost $11.5 million into the research pipeline.
Wow.
That has gone on to get an additional $27 million in funding from the federal government through NIH grants. So what we do that sort of initial discovery funding, and then it gets pushed through the rest of the testing through NIH grants, and then it moves into the clinic. So since we've started doing this, there have been about 47 clinical trials that have started for peds and adolescent young adults. And really, at the end of the day, we can talk about the ticket price to Concours, but there are kids that are alive because of the work that we fund, and that is ultimately what we do it for. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, it certainly goes to a fantastic cause. And certainly as a father myself, I know that, if anything like that were to happen to my son, that would be, heart wrenching and just life altering in a way that, you could never, unless you go through something like that, you would never know what it's like. And there's even this license plate here, this pediatric cancer awareness license plate that we have.
Yeah, one of our ambassadors, a young man named Gabriel Sanesteven, decided that he wanted to get that done. So he worked with his mom and part of our team to get the state legislature to approve a pediatric cancer license plate. So the proceeds from the plate go to Morgan Adams, and then we partner with Cops Fighting Cancer. And they do financial assistance for families that that have a diagnosis of cancer.
Right. Yep. Yeah. Donation to the Morgan Adams Foundation. Wow, that's great. Yeah. So there's so many great ways to support the great work that you do, and obviously it's a heavy topic. It's a topic that nobody wants to think about really. But I think the fun and the exciting aspect of it, of course, understanding that it supports all this great research is the Concours itself. So Eric, tell us a little bit then about how you got involved, how long you've been involved with it, and what your role is. And how you and Joan work together to bring the show to life, because it's an incredible event, and it's certainly, you have airplanes, you have cars,
cars, motorcycles, airplanes, about 20 different restaurants I think this year. So I met Joan 10 or 11 years ago when I was working for Haggerty, and we were a sponsor of the Concours at that time, and was a sponsor for a number of years doing youth judging for them. Where we take the ambassador kids around and judge the vehicles and the motorcycles. Planes are way above my pay grade, so I don't try to get too involved with that stuff. I know they're supposed to fly, and that's about it. So I just stick to stuff on the ground. But so I did that for a number of years, and then all of a sudden, Joan has this way of roping people in and making you want to volunteer. Next thing you know, I was on the car committee, and then it's just kind of snowballed from there. So in the last, I don't know, is this my third or fourth year co-running the ramp with another guy named Scott Pettit. We are in charge of parking. Our team's in charge of parking all the cars, placing everything, and then anything that happens during the show out on the ramp to do with cars and motorcycles. We kind of are the ones that handle all that. The biggest thing is we're having this event during at an airport while it's still active.
Right.
Centennial Airport is one of the busiest airports in the U.S. Just because of the number of takeoffs and landings that they have. So we have to basically keep 2,000 people in the right area and behaving to some level, and not going out and watching airplanes do their thing. But we do get two waivers. Joan is pretty awesome and persuasive in getting this done, and we have 2 aerial displays throughout the night. One kind of as the sun is setting with airplanes, where we actually shut down all airport traffic. And, the airplanes do an acrobatic display, and then one towards the end of the event where they usually shoot off fireworks. We have a little, I think it's a jet, isn't it, Joan?
It's a sailplane, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, I don't know anything about that, but there's fireworks. They're mounted all over the wings, and it blasts them off when it's up in the air, and it's pretty wild to see. So,
Nice.
but yeah, usually on average we have about 50 airplanes, mostly vintage. Usually 120. I think last year we peaked at 140 cars and about 65 motorcycles, and then 18 to 20 or 22 restaurants that are spread throughout the field. And then we have 2 internal hangars too, one that has food and cars and silent auction items. And then the other hangar is a big event space where we have a presentation and then a paddle raise and an actual live auction as well. So, yeah.
I was wondering, Eric, just how you mentioned that, obviously you're in a live airport, lots of people, lots of vehicles. Yeah. I'm wondering just how hectic is it for you? Are you on the radio like all day long, running around scrambling, or is it pretty well organized? Is it easy to handle?
It goes in waves. The team that we've assembled, really the office at Morgan Adams only has a handful of people that are paid people. The rest of it is all volunteers. How many volunteers do we have over the weekend, do you think, Joan? What would you estimate?
Probably about 150, 160 maybe. Yeah.
So they run shifts, and Joan has been very thorough about the ramp team, as we're called, the people that park all the cars and are in charge of moving and relocating cars. Yeah. She has a pretty rigorous I don't know how I made it through a rigorous application process, but
yeah, I think he got grandfathered in.
Yeah,
somebody snuck him in there when I wasn't looking.
Right. And somehow Scott and I are in charge, which is a whole nother problem. But it's good. My team is really good, and just after years of working with my team, you kind of know what their strengths are, and it's really easy to empower the right people to, if there's an issue in some area, people are real quick to jump on it and make it happen. We work very cohesively, and it is very hectic. We park cars generally from about noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon up until about 5:30, a half an hour before the event starts. Last year we finished early somehow, 4 o'clock, 4:30, and we were walking around and straightening wheels on cars and making sure bumpers were lined up with the car next to them and that kind of thing. And we haven't had that kind of time in the past, and we had more cars than ever. So I attribute that to the team that I have of just knowing what needs to get done and making it happen.
Well, it's nice to have a long-standing staff, for lack of a better term, that you can get those rhythms and know who to count on for what.
And
when it comes to event day.
It's just such an orchestra of making things work and timing. The planes all have to be parked first before we can move anything else. And if there's inclement weather in the morning, planes will arrive late or arrive on their own timeline. Even though Joan tells them a specific time to show up, they kind of come on their own. And we're usually delayed in parking cars waiting for a couple of planes. But the ramp staff at Signature Flight Support, the hangar that we use, the FBO, they're outstanding. They go above and beyond. They give us the whole facility for 2.5-3 days, and
Wow.
and are just unbelievable to assist and make things happen. Yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, very cool. So yeah, I was just scrolling through. This was last year's photo album from Shift. And they took some great, obviously this was a lot more photos, a much bigger selection than what made it into the magazine, but just to give folks kind of a vibe. And I did want to look at, because it is the Saturday evening Concours is really the cornerstone of the event, but there are things to do for participants on Friday and on Sunday. So I kind of wanted to just show what's on your website here and walk people through. So on Friday, you've got these experiences that people can participate in. You've got a Pikes Peak hill climb rally. You've got a tour, a road rally, some VIP museum tours. You've got a watch and whiskey tasting event.
That caught my eye.
Yeah.
And it's new. Is that new this year?
Yeah. So we started our partnership with Bonham started a couple years ago with the ladies' tea that actually happens on Saturday. Their jewelry division comes out, and I tell people so that we can get the wives out of the hangar. They don't have to help clean cars. They come have tea and play with the jewelry and the handbag division. And then this past January at Car Week down in Scottsdale, Nikki and Eric, I had to leave a day early, but they were with the Bonhams girls, and then they met Nate, who's their watch guy, and he was like, "Hey, I heard this kind of fun. Maybe we could do a watch event." And Stranahan's has been a partner of Morgan Adams since its inception. They are just rock solid. They are part of the reason why it's so hard for Eric and Scott to keep people well behaved at the event.
A little
because the Stranahan's whiskey truck comes out every year, which is awesome. But so we talked to Sam over there, and he said he'd open up the back barrel room. So this is a private event in the back rack house, and they'll pull out some. Maybe a little of the snowflake. We may have some of the cask beef bottles, and we'll do a whiskey tasting with the guys at Stranahan's, and Nate will talk about watches. And UBS is partnering with us this year, which is kind of fun. So we'll have people from at both the tea and the watch events just to talk about, the marketability of, what is it like to have a collectibles, and what do you do with those? So I think that'll be an interesting part of it, just to talk about watches and what they're worth. So
I wonder what they'll think of my 90s swatch.
Is it a pop swatch?
I don't think it's that cool.
Watch.
So that'll be
matches your car.
Try not to talk about my cars that you don't like. So what's funny is Scott and I are kind of the right hand people for Joan, but any cars that Scott and I own, well, probably more so me, any car that I own will never be a Concours contender. So
tell us about what cars do you guys own? What are you passionate about?
I love pretty much any car, especially if somebody is passionate about it and has a good story. I can appreciate almost anything.
Chevy Beretta?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a child of the 80s and went to high school in the 90s for sure. I wanted a Beretta. What was it? The Z28?
26.
No, 26. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 28 was the Camaro. The 24 was the Cavalier. See, I know more than I should.
Ooh,
yeah.
Chevy
Jason loves to rib me. Berettas are my thing. I own 9 currently.
Oh.
Do you really?
Yeah. All right.
And I have a Cavalier.
Yeah, I wanted a Z24 Cavalier in the worst way in high school, and then my buddy bought the one that I wanted. What kind of friend is that? And then and then I fell into German cars, and that's really modern stuff. German cars are definitely my passion. What I own for classic cars, though, I have a 78 Firebird Trans Am, a Smokey and the Bandit car that I watched that movie way too much as a child, so I blame my parents.
Sure.
And then I have a 58 Beetle that's been pretty hot rodded. But
nice.
It's still a Beetle. I mean, they made 21 million of them, so they're not that special. So that's why Joan jokes that they'll never be in her show. So, but that's all right. I'm there working. I can't polish my car. I got to be working on other people's stuff. So it's all good.
I hear Jerry Seinfeld is he's got a couple Beetles and buses in his collection, so
yeah,
it's not all Porsches and
yeah. What's funny is I'm not a Beetle guy either. I'm not an air-cooled Volkswagen guy, but I knew the gentleman that built this car, and he spent way too much money on it, and I knew I could buy it for pennies on the dollar for what he had into it, and it is far nicer than any Beetle I will ever own again. So I figured it was a good opportunity to drive and enjoy, and I'll actually be driving that car and leading the Friday tour in that car this year. So
all right,
I love it because
48 horsepower.
Yeah, well, it's 30. It was 36 when it was new, but it's about 100 now. But everybody, writes off the Beetle. They're like, "Oh, Beetle, great! I'm gonna pass that guy." And then usually about lunchtime or a gas stop, people come up to me and they're like,
"What's in that?
You can wheel that thing." Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's amazing how fast things go when you don't use the brakes.
Nice. What about you, Joan? What's in your stable?
We fell into this. I was not a car person when we started it, but my husband was a big Porsche guy, so that was really kind of, we always had, but they were always in bits and pieces all over the driveway. So I have had a few since subsequently that run. So that's been that's fun. I like that. But we have been gifted actually through the foundation through a couple of donors who have passed away. We have a DeLorean at the moment, which is a very unique car, and and then from a friend who is still with us but has been divesting himself of his collection. We just got a 1958 Morgan so I'm super. So nice. That's fun. That'll be
a Morgan
at the show. Yeah,
a Morgan for Morgan Adams. There's
right.
Yeah. Well, and since this was really Steven's baby, not mine, I didn't even know there was such a thing as a Morgan car when we started this event 25 years ago. And this particular car came the first year, and it has been at the show every year since the inception of the show.
Oh, wow.
So, cool. So I told my board, there are cars that get donated to the foundation to be sold and liquidated and put toward our mission. And this car will not ever be sold. It'll stay with the foundation for as long as, and it'll be at the show every year. So
yeah, you have to.
Very, very special car. So very, very emotional for me. The owner was part of the car committee since we very first started, and
he's a good guy.
Very, very good friend to the foundation, and
wow,
he means a great deal to me personally. So.
Yeah, that's such a great story. And it's like, that's the other thing about Morgans is you look at a modern one and they look exactly the same as they did from the 1950s.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Whenever I see a Morgan listed on Bring a Trailer or something, I always have to check the year because there's no way you can tell just by looking at like that could have been built in the 80s or the 60s.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
But
they're pretty groovy though.
We just got that car, so I haven't even driven it yet. I'm sure my first drive will be over to the show field or something like that. I got to put a battery in it though, don't I? I still have to do that before the show.
Oh, I got it handled. Don't you worry.
Oh, all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Saturday we have, to your point, Joan, what you were talking about, referring to earlier, the ladies' tea and jewelry event. Bonhams, that's Four Seasons downtown Denver, so that's a little something for the ladies who want to take their mind off cars for a few hours and think about something else. That sounds like a lovely, elegant event. And then we really have the like I said, the cornerstone of everything is here, the Concours from 6 to 10 p.m. And yeah, I think we can go through some more of the photos in a little bit, but obviously, no way around it. $300 is not an inexpensive ticket, but as we said before, truly an excellent cause that it goes towards supporting all that great pediatric cancer research. And then Sunday is now tell me, I think this is a fairly new addition to the weekend calendar of events, that you have this Sunday soiree, cars and community, sort of cars and coffee style event. I was actually at that one the one at the Sanctuary Golf Course last year, and that was really exquisite, really beautiful. So I believe this Sunday event is somewhat new to your schedule. Is that correct?
Yeah, so at the 20th annual event, we did a really quiet cars and coffee, and we did the first tee to just sort of test the water and see if our participants were open to it. And for us, it's a way to give, more things to do for our people who come in. So we do draw collectors from about a 9-state region. And so this way, the idea was, could we build an event that allowed them to have a longer weekend experience. And so that went very well. So then last year was the first year that we kind of opened the aperture on this event and made it a little bit more public, but we were up against the PGA at Castle Pines Golf Club. So even we really didn't talk about it too much last year because we couldn't get the parking permits that we wanted. So this year we've moved it to the Denver Polo Club out in Sedalia. And we have full run of the whole polo club. We've got plenty of parking. We have room on the field for a couple hundred cars if we want to park that many. And so Nikki's our manager that runs the whole Concours shebang, and she's got all kinds of tents and food, and got a team full of people to park cars, and hopefully it'll be a really beautiful Sunday morning.
Yeah, very cool. And yeah, it looks like, the price here, obviously quite reasonable, right? We have $20 per adult, $10 kids 12 and under. And then if you want to register a vehicle, it's a $50 suggested donation. And from what I saw last year, there were many of the cars that were at the Saturday evening Concours then kind of did a little bit of a dawn parade style shuffle over to the Sunday soiree. So it's a great way, if you didn't have, the opportunity to attend the Concours itself, you can still see a lot of those same cars for a slightly lower price point. And then, have a wider variety of cars to add into the mix for folks who want to show their cars there at that more informal style event. I will say, if you want to have a very nice Mark I Audi TT on the field, I would be happy to click register for one of my own cars. That is,
come on out. We love
it. Take that. Yep.
Take it. Yeah, we love it. This is our, it's also for us a way to include more of the Colorado community. We're cognizant of the fact that the Saturday night ticket is not inexpensive. We consider it our foundation's gala. So if people were to think of it in terms of a charity gala event, but this way, the car community is a fantastic community of people, and we love being a part of it. And so we want everybody to celebrate what it is we're trying to do for the kids and teens that we work for.
No, that's great that you've got two different outlets where people can come and do something a little more fancy, do something a little more casual. And I guess I'm not surprised, but I never thought of it. You mentioned that you draw vehicles and owners from about a 9-state radius.
Yeah, we pull not every year all 9 states, but we definitely have collectors from all the surrounding areas, and we work hard to try to get more to just broaden the reach, and especially on the classics and the pre-war, which is not always what people are accustomed to seeing. For me, they're my, once Stephen got me talked into this, right? And we had to talk me into it, I'll be honest. But, the pre-war cars, they're such works of art. They're so amazing. They're so hard to find. And so we really do look to cast a wider net to try to get more people. And I firmly believe that if we can educate people about what they are, that's really important too, because you just don't get to see, like last year when we did the Packard feature and we had 22 Packards, and it was amazing to me to see the range of those cars and to be able to showcase them and share them with everybody, I think is really pretty remarkable. So
now I know it's a curated event. the Concours on Saturday anyway. Can you speak to, I'm looking at it online, but it's reasonably open-ended. Can you speak to a little bit about what it is that you're looking for in the vehicles that you want to admit to being shown?
Sure. I mean, Joan is a huge fan of antique and pre-war stuff, and that's definitely where her passion and interest lies. And our car committee, that has been, a lot of them are very seasoned and been around a long time. They also have shared that passion, and we've been trying to bring on some younger and new people to the car committee in the last few years, because we want to represent not necessarily all aspects of the car community, but a broader array. I think true car people can appreciate, almost anything that they see on the show field, but people that come to the event that maybe aren't car people, they get excited about exotics and, Ferraris and Lamborghinis, that kind of thing, Porsches, all the higher end Porsches. And we just try to have a good mix of unique things. We're not necessarily, I don't know, Joan, how else? I mean, there's certain things that we aren't featuring, but for the most part, it's just the appreciation of the automobile and things in there, that are relatively stock or a beautiful restoration of something can be appreciated. It just all depends on what we're feeling.
Lower production numbers, I think, are important. And the Ferrari Club, so, based on this collection of cars that Stephen was photographing that started this, the Ferrari Club has supported this event every year since its inception. So we've always had a certain number of Ferraris on the field. And with the Ferraris comes some of the other exotics. And so we've always had that. Sure. I think what Eric is pushing toward is the more middle years, right? I have stayed away from some of the muscle cars. And he's fighting me on some of that, which is good.
Some of them, not all of them. I don't want to see my Firebird out there either. Don't worry.
But it's constant. It's a constant balance, and it's a constant conversation, right? As you look at what is trending with the enthusiasts, and what do people want to see, and how do you define rare and collectible? So Saturday night, we want it to be something, we want to be able to share with people cars you don't get to see everywhere. And really keep that sort of mystique and share things that are rare more. I don't know what the right word is, right? Because we know, like, I love my cars, and I have the cars I have because they're important to me, and we know that that's the same for everyone. So it's hard to we don't want to sound like you know what I mean? You don't want to sound.
Sure, you don't want to exclude,
right?
You want to be inclusive of as many people as possible, but you do still have, you want to have a certain standard, and sure.
Yeah,
these
and that's why,
these are me. This is what I love. So, but I think it's because you don't get to see them, and they're not driving down the street with you anymore. And they really harken back to a time when there was, just look at the lines on that car. They're just spectacular to me. Big and swoopy. Maybe that's.
Oh yeah.
Eric said, "How many times are you going to say swoopy tonight?"
That's your word. That's your word.
I don't know.
And not to mention the engineering. These were cars. Yeah, you talk Packard, Duesenberg, Pierce Arrow, cars of that nature. This was when American cars of this caliber were the best in the world. This was, Rolls-Royce and Bentley were still in like short pants, and Packard and Pierce Arrow were making some of the fastest, most expensive, most technologically advanced cars truly in the world. So it's always special to see. And I think it is interesting to expose you, like you said, it's like an array. You have these real classic pre-war, blue chip type of cars, and then you've got stuff from the 80s and 90s. You've got more of the modern exotics, right? So it's like you have to cater to all those tastes, because it's like the millennial folks, and that's what, with the rise of Radwood and all these different types of the cars that are becoming really high dollar cars now. It's a lot of folks from my generation. I'm almost 40, and kids who grew up in the 80s and 90s, and
Yep.
it's the stuff that we had on our bedroom walls, and some of us like and appreciate the pre-war stuff, some of us don't, and it's like you have to attract folks that are a little bit older and a little bit younger, and then also to get exposed, because some kids kids that were growing up like in my age range, they might have never seen this stuff before, and now they've seen it, and they might gain a new appreciation for it. So that's also a cool thing.
Yeah, my godson's 22, and he comes to this event. His dad buys him a ticket because he's a big car guy, but he's like the kid that's out. I don't even know where they go anymore, because I'm old, and when I was young, we were drag racing on Gun Club, and Gun Club's like downtown Aurora now, so I don't even actually know where they go. But he's part of that. Everybody gets together at 1:00 in the morning, and they go drive in the middle of the night. So he comes to this, but I always make him walk through all the pre-war stuff with me before I turn him loose. I'm like, you got to come, just walk the loop, got to do it. And he's like, okay, all right, tell me. I say pick 3 that you think you want to learn about, and let's go. So just because I think it's important.
That MG, it's one of one as a prototype. That's such a cool car. That
Wild.
One comes up every couple yeres.
Yeah. So you've got Italian stuff. You've got some, pre-war American. You've got British. The Jaguars we were just looking at. Here's an MG Corral. So truly an eclectic mix.
We featured MG last year, so that's why we had so many MGs. Packard and MG were the features last year.
Featured marks.
Yeah, and I like to kind of round up on how you curate things. I like the note that I see online. You prefer rarer vehicles or lower production numbers, that sort of thing. But it says you may accept other models if they add a sense of completeness to the show.
Sure.
So it's nice
Chevy
to
Beretta.
You try to keep things well-rounded. And then Eric, you had just mentioned that car comes around every couple of years. I also see a note that says, if you've shown a vehicle with us before, please don't bring it again the next year. Try to rotate vehicles once every 3 years. So you really are keeping most all of the show fresh every year.
Yeah.
People aren't going to come and see the same vehicles. They might see the same eras or the same types or styles, but they're not going to see the exact same car.
Right.
So that's great.
There are some exceptions. I do, there's one particular red Gullwing that if its owner is around, it's at the party. So I am in love with that car. So I'm just going to tell you that right up front.
And you said
gets a pass.
Yeah, Gullwing.
Yeah, red Gullwing. That was 55.
That used to be the number one dream car for me.
Yeah, it's so gorgeous, and it's an exquisite paint job, and everything about the car is spectacular. So
it's great. We have a great relationship with a lot of great collectors that have deep garages of lots of cars, and they have lots of great things to choose from. It's sometimes it's hard to get them to bring the things we want. They want to bring more modern stuff because it's easier to drive home at the end of the night. But
right. It might not overheat and
right. Yeah. But that's always a challenge for us. But for some of our collectors, we make special accommodations so they can leave cars in a safe area, so they can go home and retrieve it during the day, especially if they're driving something that's well over 100 years old. The headlights are suggestions at that point at 10 o'clock at night. So
a little bit better than holding a flashlight, but not much.
Right. Exactly.
To that point though, about which cars are there any cars that is there anything that hasn't been there that would be like your dream? Like, if we could get, there was a Bugatti, pre-war Bugatti that was there last year, right? I think a few of them, that was really special. Is there anything you were like, and you were saying, Joan, the SL, right? That's obviously, those are very rare and very special cars. But is there, you're like, oh, if I could only have et cetera, that would be amazing if I could get one of those to show up.
I mean, that the Type 57 SC, the Atlantic that we had a couple of years ago, which was one of two in the world. I almost don't know how you can compete with having had that car on the field. So
right,
could have had both of them.
Yes, if we could have both of them, that would be good.
If Ralph Lauren would bring his, then we could have both of them. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind the 250 GTO. You want to get serious about real money,
Right, right.
And this year, I think we've got one of the 275 GTBs coming back this year, which is nice. That's probably my all-time favorite Ferrari. I just think the lines on the car are just beautiful. So I'm always happy when we get to have one of those. They're very hard to find. So I think that'll be fun. I don't know, Eric, you keep this. Yeah, this is a beautiful car too. We actually saw this car go for auction in Scottsdale a couple of years ago, but one of our committee members helped us track down the owner in order for us to bring that car out. The top, the sunroof goes all the way down into the car. It was particularly unusual for that era. Yeah,
almost like a Targa top in a way.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's some pre-war stuff. It's just, I don't know. You don't know what you want until you see it. I mean, there was a round door rolls that we saw in the basement of the Peterson that one time. Man, I'd love to see that car. I feel like that car's 30 feet long. Yeah. That thing's so dang cool. I mean, I've seen it in person. It's never been at our show. I mean, any Duesenberg like this, there's only a handful of Duesenbergs floating around in Colorado, and it's always great when one of those pops up. They're just it's so cool to spend some time and just walk around and look. I mean, that car was capable of over 100 miles an hour back in the day. I mean, that was the most successful American car, the fastest, most well-built American car back in the day. And they really still, it's amazing when you spend time to look at the engineering on those. They're just unbelievable cars.
At a time when paved roads were not a given. It was, there were very, very few paved roads, and it was mostly dirt and cobblestone. And so, even more impressive speed to think about the conditions you were doing that speed in.
Right. I mean, just a handful of years ago, I got excited when I would see a Ferrari F40, because I mean, when I was working at Hagerty in my early time there were only 3 of them in Colorado, and so when we seem to have one every couple of years, different one, and that was great. Now there's a pile of them. I think there's at least 10 in Colorado, but there's still special cars to see. Absolutely, F50, F40. I mean, all that stuff. Countach's. That's the stuff that was hanging on my wall as a kid and is now hanging in my garage. Those posters of those cars.
Yeah, the motorcycles, the motorcycles and planes. I know we haven't talked a lot about that, but I think that the blending of those is what is, and all the being able to position the cars up against some of these exquisite airplanes. I mean, we just get so lucky with what we're able to show every year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, my favorite part back before I built the ramp was going out in the middle of the show, and there was no, we have a rhyme or reason on how things are laid out, and Joan revises it about 400 times before we actually get to do it. And that's the real reason we invented the ladies' tea and diamonds. So Joan goes away for the afternoon, so we don't have to have her tell us we're doing it wrong.
She comes back and she's like, "Wait, what's happened here? What happened?"
I was like, have some more wine.
Have another glass of champagne.
Yeah, you'll be fine, Joan. Yeah. No, but it's I used to love going and walking and getting lost in the show, and then you're like, where am I? I haven't seen this before, and I just love how the show is. It feels random, but it's not. I mean, the planes and having motorcycles and cars tucked under their wings, you never know what you're going to find when you walk around the wing of something, and nothing is really roped off. A lot of our collectors ask to have things roped off, but we really try to avoid that. I mean, when we had that Bugatti a couple years ago, that's $110 million car, and it was right when you walked out on the red carpet. It was right there, and it wasn't roped off. It was one of the first cars you saw when you walked into the show. So we really try to keep things accessible. Obviously, we don't want people touching or leaning on things or anything like that, but we want you to be able to walk around them, get close to them, you know.
Yeah, I think at a certain point, people, when you see a car like that, you have to respect. You're not going to be like, oh, can my kid go climb in it? It's like you have to understand. Yeah, you can get close to it. Take
most
a
people
picture.
are very good at that. There's a few that we have to have a little chat with, but that's all right.
Respect. Yeah,
but that's part of the 150 volunteers. I mean, we have volunteers that their whole job is to just make sure, you know, if they're we have some that just stand next to cars, right, that are just there to safeguard or to talk about it, and some that are there to make sure that you're not leaning over anything with the camera around your neck, so you know. So,
but it's great. I mean, we still do the youth judging, and we try to get the cars that we judge for those. We try to get the owners involved, and most of the time the owners are very gracious and will let the kids climb in it and you know, sit, honk the horn, that kind of stuff, and it just gets kids more engaged and more excited about the event, and hopefully about cars is the goal. But
I would love it if we can go to the Concours gallery on one of the tabs you have open and look at this. There's a picture of the wing of the pyrotechnics that are strapped to the wing of the airplane that does the night show that has the fireworks that he shoots off. So if you go to that 2024 gallery and then go to page 9 of that gallery.
That was so freaky the first time I saw that. I was like,
I know.
How does this thing not light itself on fire?
Bear with us 1 second while we get to.
I just dropped that on you. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'll work my way back. If you said it's on 9, I'll work my way back here. So we should be getting closer. All right, so let's see.
There we go, right there.
Oh, wow, look at that.
There you go. And if you look at what you can't see, if you kind of take your eye, trace it down the wing to the fuselage back there, that's all pyrotechnics.
Wow.
Yeah. One, I don't know how the guy can get the plane up off the ground. So there's that, because I mean, there's so much, but it's just so amazing to me when I watch that fireworks show, and how does he do it? And then we got a couple of these pictures, and I was just like, holy cow, that's how he does it. So
sorry, I just got distracted. What this is a D-type Jaguar, right?
C-type. C-type. Yeah.
Right. Oh wow. Yeah, that's pretty special. And it seems like sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we'll have a little Jag feature this year, so that'll be fun. It's 90th birthday, so
some of those overhead views from the roof of the hangar, just kind of looking over the event. The cool thing is we get, for some reason, every year we have amazing sunset. That one's a little later, but we have amazing sunsets every year at the event. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And it's also great because it's usually pretty warm, and I'm pretty hot in my suit. So when the sun goes down, I'm usually pretty pumped about that.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, my grandfather was a Jag man, so I have a special place in my heart for old Jaguars for sure. But yeah, this is really great. It's such a eclectic mix. It's a little something for everybody. And yeah, like you said, the youth judging. I mean, I've been to now that Haggerty has acquired that event, the Greenwich Concours to Elegance in Greenwich, Connecticut. So I grew up in the upstate New York area, Mid-Hudson Valley. So I've been going to that event for over a decade. And yeah, ever since Haggerty took that over and added the youth judging component, you know, I think it's great because you can bring, as a car enthusiast parent, like you can bring your kids and not have to worry about them being super bored. It's like they have something to do and they feel like they're part of the process, right? And as parents, like that's always kind of what we're, you know, you want, it's like, oh, get your kid involved. If you're cooking dinner, like have them chop something up, right? It's like, so in any way that you can get your kids involved to make them a little more interested, and, you know, at the very least, they won't be bored and being like, can we leave now? So yeah, it's definitely cool to add that element to it as well.
Absolutely. So. The one thing, Joan, you should talk a little bit about airplanes since I cannot, but the food too, we bring in, usually right around 20 different restaurants that serve some of their best stuff at our event. And part of the ticket price obviously covers food and beverage, but we have some amazing stuff. I don't get to eat a lot of it, but I generally have my wife come, and she will recruit food for me and come find me on the show field and hand me something. So the food is outstanding.
Yeah. So actually, when you boil it down, the ticket price almost becomes reasonable when you factor in that you're getting food and drink as part of that. You're getting, you get to see such a wide variety of cars and motorcycles and airplanes. It's actually and to your point earlier, if you think about it as, this is your annual contribution to supporting this, this organization, this
Right.
foundation, and it's their annual gala event, then it actually, can become fairly reasonable and something that people can make a part of their charitable contribution for the year. So
I mean, it's a healthy date night. Don't get me wrong, but it is an open bar, and 20 restaurants and good wine. So it's we try to make sure that there's value. So
and someday,
looking at that last photo and seeing people well dressed, this just came to mind. I haven't seen anything on the website. There's no dress code for this event. It's just kind of expected that you're not going to come in jeans and a tee, or
I think he's good. Yeah, well, I
mean, it's jeans and it's a button down. Come on.
Yeah.
It's a button down.
Who was the Bronco guy that showed up last year wearing all of his, wasn't that a coach or something? I don't know. I don't do sports. So,
it was Sean Payton. Yeah. The head coach. Yeah. Sean Payton's guy. Yeah. Okay. It helps to be situated right across from Dub Valley. That does, and we do have so we have a good relationship. One of our families is heavily affiliated with the NFL, and so we get a lot of nice auction items. And again, this year we do have lunch in the new Broncos facility and I think it's with George again this year. So you get a tour. So that's fun. We get a lot of the old World War II trainer planes. This is a T-28. And then we have a whole kind of platoon of T-6s. I don't think they call them platoons when you're flying them. I guess
squadron, perhaps.
Thank you very much. Thank
I don't
you.
know where I pulled that from.
My airplane guys are going to be mad at me for not knowing that. But, we have a new B-25 that we haven't ever shown before that's flying in this year, and they're going to do a formation flight with the B-25 and a couple of the P-51 Mustangs, and so you get all of those engines up there flying, and it'll rattle your sternum for sure. So this is cool. That plane is called a Globe Swift, that burnished aluminum one. That was an airplane that they created for the P-51 Mustang pilots when they came back from World War II in order to have something that they could fly around in. So it was really quick little airplanes and something that they could kind of keep that speed and the performance that they were accustomed to with the Mustangs. So
sure. Yeah, I think blending the aviation aspect of it as well. It's like people can appreciate, just like with cars, there's some people who appreciate the engineering and the history, and some people who just appreciate the aesthetic and the design, right? You don't have to be a hardcore mechanical person to appreciate a beautiful car or a beautiful airplane or motorcycle, right? They all have to be aerodynamic and as well as functional. So I think you can have people appreciate many different facets of all the different machines there. And then, you can also go to the bar and have some whiskey and champagne and some oysters, and it's a full event.
That if you look through the two tails and to that jet, the blue kind of jet that's in the background, that's an L-39. That's that was the jet that got me sucked into this event. So when Steven and his friend Brett DeRozier said they wanted to do this and they wanted to do it at the airport, and I was like, I'm not helping you guys. I'm going to go get my job back. This is too much work. They brought me out here and they introduced me to the gentleman that owns this plane, and he took me for a ride down to Colorado Springs in the back of that plane, and we were like down and back in 15 minutes, and it was just so fun. I was like, okay, I'm in. It was so fun.
That's where the disconnect is. Somebody needs to take me for a ride, then maybe I'll be excited about the planes. Yeah.
There you go.
We'll put you in with Dagmar. She's the one that does all the aerobatics and everything. She is like a internationally recognized aerobatic flight performer. She's freaking amazing. She's from Germany. And we'll put you in with her, Eric, and see if she can't make you.
I don't think I would survive that. Yeah, I'd lose my lunch, I think, for sure.
Cue the Kenny Loggins, right?
Yeah.
Danger zone.
Yeah, when they take a picture of you at the bottom of the hill on the roller coaster, usually you can't see me because I'm hiding.
Or passed out. Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
There you go. Wow. Yes, this is super cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to be respectful of your time. We have we're pretty much right at time now with our program here, and we really just want to thank you both for taking your time to talk to our audience, give us an insider's view, explain some of the little hidden elements of these shows, and just to thank you as well, because like I said earlier, I think this is Colorado, we're really blessed with so many great events and so many great groups, right? We have the Automezzi and we have the British Motoring Conclave. Obviously there's the Colorado Grand. So there are a lot of these classic car, very high caliber events, but I feel like the Morgan Adams Concours is really just the highlight, the kind of the zenith that brings all of that culture together in one great really weekend of events now, that there's Friday and Sunday stuff. So if anyone out there is listening from other states, come on in, and there's still time to register. It looks like tickets are still available. Is that correct?
Yeah. The Concours usually sells out I don't know, a couple weeks before, but we have all the ancillary events that you participate in as much as you'd like. The tour will be Friday, and again, I'm hosting that. I was out driving all the roads today just to make sure that they're all up to tip top, and I got into this one and was going great, and I was 15 miles into it and it turned to gravel. Ooh. So we got a reroute I'm planning tonight after we get done with this. So
all right,
and then I get to go out and redrive new roads. So yeah, it'll be great. It's always a good time. I like when people come up to me and tell me that they've lived in Colorado on the Front Range for years, and I've taken them to a road that they never knew existed before. That's always the highlight of that part of the event for me. Very nice.
Yeah, well, again, thank you both. Fun. And obviously at the end of the day, it's all for a great cause, something that we can all get behind, and is certainly near and dear to Joan's heart. So thank you for growing this event to where it is now, and I think it can only get even better, and the vehicles and the collectors, the people that you can reach, certainly can only expand. It's pretty close after Pebble Beach, after Monterey Car Week, so you might grab some folks that are on the transporters heading back.
That's always eastward. The goal. Yep, that's always the goal.
It happens.
It happens, yep.
Say, hey, if you're heading back to New York or Florida or Texas, Colorado, we're in the middle. You might as well stop and enjoy a leisurely weekend. But I will certainly tonight. I will certainly be registering my Audi TT for that Sunday soiree. It might not be worth very much, but it's the design aspect of it hopefully will add something. So
it'll be looked upon more favorably than my Firebird, so you'll be fine.
All right.
It's about the community. So thank you for having us. This was great. Guys. We really appreciate it. So
thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Always nice to get the insiders view.
Yeah. Let us know if you have any questions too. We'll be happy to answer anybody's questions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. See you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Tell me how to get out of here.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I was trying to do it for her. I think she was leaving and I kept adding her and vice versa.
All right. Well, that was great. Really, yes. Such a cool event, such a great cause that is being supported and funds are being raised for as well.
Yeah, I've seen my fair share of that event covered by Colorado Cars and Coffee in numerous aspects. The magazine, I believe, just in the group.
Yeah.
Never knew that much about it. So
Yeah.
it's nice to get that insider's look. And actually, I'm looking at. I didn't see the register your vehicle for the soiree. I saw you had a button on your page, and like I'm here and I don't see it.
Hold on.
Oh, there it is. Well, event registration, get your tickets.
Let me. Yeah,
There
I
it is.
can.
Register your vehicle. It's under the tickets button.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I had it all zoomed in on my screen. So let me just share my screen one more time.
I'm noticing that I'm not a morning person, especially on the weekends. Well, on the weekends, I'm not. I really value sleeping in, but I see you have to be there between 7:30 and 8:30 so you can get parked.
Yeah.
Because I was seriously considering taking the bread.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, surprise! I brought one.
You should do it. You should get to bed a little early the night before and just make it happen. But yeah, so this is
like you had stated, $20. Like that's nothing to go see probably a good chunk of what was in the actual event on Saturday evening.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
well as a slew of other vehicles, and then just get to mingle. And just like a Cars and Coffee, like they said, it's kind of their Cars and Coffee event.
Yeah, very casual.
Man, I mean, I'm seriously going to consider this.
Yeah. So yeah, it's all here to get your tickets. MorganAdamsConcours.org. Hit the tickets button, and then you'll see, here, event registration, get your tickets and tables for Saturday night. And then you scroll down, you've got each of these Friday experiences you can purchase your tickets for. You've got your Saturday, everything here, and then your Sunday, there's a register your vehicle button there. But yeah, click here to purchase tickets. That will take you to the all these different options for adding what you want into your cart. And yeah, highly encourage anybody out there who's interested to check it out, and then report back how you enjoyed it. But I think that's as good a place as any to call it. And we are just a little over time, but we will we'll certainly be back next month. I don't know if we have a guest lined up for next month. We're trying like the Dickens to get the Colorado Plate Finder Instagram account guy, but oh, Ryan, I think you're on mute.
I was. Last email I got, he's like, I'm buried. I'm getting literally hundreds of emails submitting plates to the account.
All right.
So, the last email I sent, I said, I touched base and I haven't even heard from him. So I wonder if I got buried, but I sent him like 5 plates myself.
Yeah. Well, we'll try and get him at some point, but anyway, we'll cook up a guest for you all next month. So I guess this is a good place as any to call it an evening and let everybody enjoy our Sundays. So from the Downshift Podcast YouTube channel, I'm Jason.
I'm Ryan.
And keep on driving or something. We need a closing.
We need a closing catchphrase. Yeah, we'll work on that one.
Stay groovy.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
Always got